So did y'all see this week Pastor Jamal Bryant reminded his congregation these hoes ain't loyal, and he was not lying, but was the congregation the place for that? What do y'all think?
Absolutely not. I'm just like, to me, first off, I'm really tired of like hoe, thought, slut, anytime.
Yeah.
And to me, I feel like church is the one place where you should go where you don't have to hear that.
Yeah.
And I understand, like, you know, churches should be relatable and they should speak to like real world experience, but like, I'm not coming to church to hear what I could hear on the radio in the car. So you need to find another way to say that, get that same message across without using that word, because it's just too much. And I think when people use that word, it's always directed towards women.
Right.
And, you know, those words, they start off in one group of community and they end up trickling down to like all women.
Given his background, how can you say that these hoes ain't loyal when you committed infidelity within the church and allegedly with someone who was underage? And I just feel like for him, he shouldn't have said that line, because your background does not even, it can't even erase what you're trying to say about other people. You know, people are always going to look back, well, you had how many children? And even his Wikipedia page is kind of iffy. It's like, you acknowledge 4 children. Like, the language within that is a little odd to me, especially for you to say that line, even though you were trying to reference a biblical story. What would Jesus do?
Not that.
Right, not that.
Well, maybe he was speaking from his experience of what, because if you listen to his actual, like, the part of the sermon where he referenced that, because really, I mean, I agree that it was like inappropriate, but it was so quick. Like, it really wasn't something that he harped on when he was in the crowd, like dancing, like these. No, it wasn't anything like that. But I will say that I think he might have been talking, also referring to his own issues, because the whole actual like sermon, but that part of the sermon was based around men like waiting for the woman of God that's supposed to be sent to them, and listening to her, because you know it's about Pilate and how his wife was telling him, you know, basically not to kill Jesus, and he didn't listen to her, and then he ended up killing himself and all this stuff like that. So I mean, when I read it, I thought, oh, that's, you know, deep, but he really did mess it up by speaking on, you know, these hoes ain't loyal. But I mean, at the same time, if you would have seen the reaction of the people in the church, it was like, loved it. No, like this is what the jumpers drop the beat. Like we don't have to like it, and we don't have to agree with it. But I think the message still came across.
Well, it was like a lot of people saying stuff this week they shouldn't have. I mean, if that's like a joke, then you know, Kevin Hart comes on and it's like, black women are fair game. I won't talk about homosexuals. I won't talk about politics. That's too sensitive. But I'll get on Twitter and be like, dark-skinned women are like this, and then it's like, miss me with that bullshit when it comes to calling him out on it. And I think that's crazy. Like, for him to say, that's just so bold to say, I won't touch that. And what you're saying is, I don't want to ruffle white people's feathers. And for black women, I don't care if you support me or not, because I'm getting this white Hollywood money.
Right.
And that's ridiculous.
I don't know why he's so, but I feel like Kevin Hart feels like he's being like attacked by black women, and so he doesn't feel, he's like, you know, his thought process is, okay, y'all are attacking me, so I don't really need to apologize to you guys for anything that I say or whatever. And I understand, like, maybe he felt initially, I don't think he really, when he wrote it, I don't think he thought it was a big deal. And when I read it initially, I was like, okay, people make like dark skin, light skin jokes all the time.
It was. Right.
But for you to say, okay, I won't talk about this community, but I'll talk about you. It's like, okay, what's the difference? Like, just stick to what you do, which is talk about your own mess, and just stick to that. Like, I don't know why we have to, I don't know why it has to be that. And if you're going to apologize to one community, then don't attack any.
Right.
I think it is a little bit of ignorance on his part. Like, you know, it is, black women are still dealing with a lot of stuff about being dark skinned. Not all dark skinned black women deal with that, but some people are. And for you to be a dark skinned man with a dark skinned daughter saying those things, it's not right.
I think it goes back to the whole issue of, not to be that black woman that says it, but you know, they don't care about us. You know what I mean? Like, if we go missing, if we try to be some type of way, it's
people
like,
in general?
Yeah, just people in general. It's just like, okay, it's like, you know, the Kanye shrug. Whereas, like, if it was a white homosexual and you're making fun of them, then it's like, everything stops. The internet will shut down immediately.
Glad will take everything from you.
So I definitely think it just goes back to the larger spectrum of, no one really, you know, no one's checking for us. But, you know, we'll still be seeing certain movies or whatever, because it's just like, you know, the oxymoron of it all.
That's true. Because I do think he's funny, but I'm starting to feel a type of way. And it was after that Vibe cover where he was in between that white woman's legs. And that's when I was just like, what are you doing out here? And I feel like during that interview, Right. And I normally didn't feel like that way about him, but it's just been too many opportunities to like come to African Americans' defense. I always feel like at a certain point when you get a certain level of success, you can start speaking on some things. Like it doesn't matter. Speak
and it's not
up.
gonna hurt.
Exactly. But for you to make a conscious decision to just shut it out and dismiss all our concerns, then I have a problem.
Yeah, it's true.
But then I wonder, so when women like Whoopi Goldberg come up and say, you know, Justin Bieber talking about all these racist jokes have come out the blue, like run nigga run, you know, just
I mean, like
foolishness.
really blatant, really.
Yeah, making songs and everything. Meanwhile, you're like every rapper's little best white friend, you know, and saying this, and then Whoopi's like, well, the N-word doesn't have any meaning in Canada. I'm like, where you been? Exactly.
I'm like, Canada's just a look away. What do you mean?
Right, and if you're using the word, you know what it is.
Right.
So what are you saying? I couldn't believe that she came to his
couldn't believe she
defense.
said that either.
I try to roll with Whoopi on a lot of things, but at the same token, I was like, what the hell are you talking about? He said, the look on his face in the video, right, like, he was laughing, one less lonely N-word. I was like, oh my goodness.
It's gonna be one less nigga. If I kill you, I'll be part of the KKK.
Yes. And for her to be like, well, in Canada, they have no clue what they're talking about. What he was talking about.
Right, when you hanging out with Birdman every night up in the club,
Okay,
you know who the nigga is.
For real, he don't need nobody to defend him because I mean they said his people claim that they're the ones who put the video out, so he knows that he was living trifling. Yeah. Even though he really hasn't said something about this second video if they did put it out. But at the same time, it's like don't defend it. Just keep it real. I mean, if Usher is mentor and all these people are like, he need to work on that. then fine. But the people like Whoopi and all the like Young Money people, Lil Wayne and all them. I can't
still ride with him.
White folks say the N word and black people.
Yes.
Like, no.
Like when the Dream, Q-Tip, all them came to her defense. I'm like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. Why is that okay?
Everybody.
Yeah.
Y'all sit down.
It's just a disattachment from like the world in which we live. Like. Nobody's, when you go into these business meetings with these white folks, they might not respect you, but it's never going to be in your face. Yeah. Nobody's ever going to be like, nigga, in your face. Right. Whereas meanwhile, I literally walk down the street and have somebody call me the N-word. And it doesn't feel good. Right. I don't care who you are, I don't care where you are. It doesn't feel good. Whether they were joking, whether they meant it or not, it's not cool. So when you give some white people a pass and some white people not, like, I'm just like not with that. Right. And I think Justin Bieber is racist? No. And I think he was a little kid when he said it, but somebody still needs to be like, yo, that wasn't cool.
Exactly.
And if Justin Bieber apologized about it, then he obviously knows it was a problem. So why is Whoopi coming to his defense like it doesn't mean anything in Canada? And I love Whoopi.
Yeah.
But she was dead wrong in this.
Exactly.
But I wasn't surprised because in the either early 90s or late 80s, she like helped I forgot the actor's name. He was white.
That's a man.
That was right.
With the blackface. So after hearing that, it's just like, you don't surprise me. It's kind of like. It's kind of like being at that predominantly white college campus and you have that one black person that hangs out with all the white people and like they're able to like say whatever. No, like keep it real. Like they're able to say whatever they want to you about you until something really bad goes down. Like, so it's like I don't know. Black people like Whoopi. I'm just like. Interesting, because it's like you can't say much.
On the I mean, in my opinion, I feel like she's usually the one who will like say what other people won't say. So I'm like, this wasn't what you needed to say.
I think with
race,
and then we can.
Very funny.
She's
very funny.
I'm not gonna say what you think I'm gonna say.
Yeah. And then you can't be surprised if Kevin Hart won't apologize when you up here like, hey, white people just call them niggas all day long. It's okay.
Because you live in Canada.
Yeah, it's the most ridiculous. And then of course Don Lemon wants to come and blame us for Justin Bieber's decision.
Always do that.
I have no time.
Somebody did that on like E! Entertainment Tonight. I was like, shut up.
Yeah. They had a whole thing
about rap because the rappers say it all the time.
Right, and I don't know. I get confused.
Right,
like aren't you the superior race? You should know
what
better.
I do shouldn't cause you to run out and be saying the word. I have my own. I have my own consequences I have to deal with when I say it.
Exactly.
Maybe, but you have a totally different consequence you need to keep in mind.
That you know by now.
Okay, and you grown, so don't be trying to follow me and say, well, the rappers do it. The rappers call the women nappy-headed hoes, so I'm gonna call them a nappy-headed hoe too.
Exactly,
because it's okay.
Right?
No,
but then there are no consequences, so really it is.
But really, right? That's the thing. It's never any consequences. It's always like, oh.
Right.
I feel like Paula Deen is the last person who's like really, maybe and Donald Sterling,
who was really like,
no,
shut it down.
Right.
Well, no. When you have a southern accent, it's like, oh,
slave master.
take us back to the plantation.
Right.
Get them out.
Yeah, I don't know. It's not cool. I was really surprised by Whoopi with that.
Yeah.